Welcome back to the She Can channel, where we interview women on their journeys, how they got to where they are today. And I'm speaking to Priscilla Duarte today. Priscilla, it's lovely to connect with you. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do.
Nice to connect with you too, Stephanie. Definitely a wonderful opportunity here to speak a little bit about how I got here. So basically, I moved to the United States when I was a teenager, and I'm originally from Portugal. So I moved to the States to be a tennis player. Um, Tennis is a very difficult sport, as not many people know, but it's very individual, and you have to have a lot of focus. And if you win or if you lose, you have to know how to deal with that. So then I did a lot of tournaments, and then I just pursued my studies instead. So I did my university, studied my master's of business as well. And then, I had the opportunity to work for a sports agency after my master's. It was a startup company, and I was doing marketing for them. So I was the director of marketing. I was doing sales and digital marketing as well. And so with I didn't have much experience, but with my ideas and ambition, we were able to grow the company very quickly. The whole Europe knows about the company because of how I managed to, tell all the academies in Europe and make sure we were in a lot of magazines and TV channels. And so I grew the company very quickly and decided to take part away from them, basically because even though we were growing the company, the owner was not okay with um, giving me more challenges or more. Um, he was not appreciating all the work that I was doing, basically.
Yeah, you couldn't
And
grow.
so sorry,
You couldn't grow.
exactly. So I felt that I was at the top of my game at the company, and so I always loved hospitality, and I had a minor in hospitality when I was studying. So I got the interview with the owner and developer of the Palm Beach Historic Inn. And when we were interviewing, I explained to him what I did for the previous company. I knew it was a completely different field, but how I showed him that how important marketing is for the growth of any company. And that was one thing that they were lacking at the Palm Beach Historic Inn previously. And so he liked my ideas and my vision for how this hotel would look and how we would promote it and how we would create, returning clientele and making sure that the guests love staying at the hotel and they're coming back and they're telling everyone, because word of mouth is actually the best marketing you can have. So that's what I did, and it turned out that it's going very well, and I have numbers to prove. Every year we do a review with the owner, and it's been a growing success. So within the first year, I did 3 times more than the previous management person that was in the hotel. And ever since, I've been growing my own numbers.
Amazing. Priscilla, so you are the general manager of the Palm Beach Historic Inn in
Correct.
Florida. and you've been growing this company since they did a refurb. Um,
Yes.
and so tell us a little bit more what your day-to-day job is, so we understand all the sort of things that you need to be able to do on a daily basis.
Sure. So since it's a small hotel, we have 13 rooms. It's a very boutique hotel experience. I do a little bit of everything. So I do the hiring, I do the marketing, I do a little bit of finance, I do the rates change. I contact contractors if there's need for any changes in the improvement of the hotel. I deal with all the vendors. I do the training as well for my staff. I do a little bit of everything, even if the smallest things, making sure that the kitchen is clean, or like even those little things I do. I make sure that the guests are happy, so I'm in the hotel in the mornings making sure that their experience is going well. I always try to make sure that they write us a good review, because I think reviews are very important for any business, because that's what makes other people book. So I make sure that all guests are writing as 5-star reviews, and if you look online, that's what we have. Our average is around 4.5, 4.6 average, in all third-party sites. And so that's what I do. And then in the afternoons, I'm usually in the office. That's where I am right now. Also because the owner developer um, gave me more challenges and more opportunities to manage other properties. So that's what I also do. There's other properties in Palm Beach that we are renting for long term. We used to do some short term on Airbnb and VRBO, but we learned that long term is much easier and much safer. People take good care of furniture or that property itself. So that's what I do in the afternoons.
Priscilla, so tell us a little bit what your main motivator is. You started out, you came to the US as a tennis player, you played for your college, I presume, or your school, and then you do so many things as a general manager of a historic inn. So what is your main motivator, would you say?
So my main motivator, I believe, is the appreciation from guests. I love learning, about their experience, and that's what motivates me most. Also, I love new challenges. I love the improvement of the hotel, new technologies, new amenities, new anything. So I'm always constantly looking at what I can improve. I go to different hotels to see what they are doing. I go to some conferences. A lot of them are in Miami, and I look what is the most innovative things that they're doing, even for small hotels. So I actually went to a show called the Independent Hotel Show, and it was mainly for um, hotels that were owned by individuals, not the corporation. So, trying to make sure that the boutique hotel is at the same level as those Marriott's, Hilton's, it's a challenge, because a lot of people think they're gonna have the same exact experience, but it's a completely different setup, right? So, we have a much more homey and face-to-face experience, where the guests know about us, we know about them, we our return clientele, when they come back, we go, oh, welcome back, Mr. Clifford, your room is set up the way you want it, no feathers, no this, no that. So we know exactly what their needs are, and we know them by name. And it's a whole different experience when you go to a Marriott. They don't even know who you are, and you're just a number. But again, we don't have some other amenities that other big hotels have, like a spa or, pool, and restaurant. We just have a small pastry shop. We are located close to the beach, but we don't have a pool, right? So I tried to provide beach chairs, towels, and umbrellas so that the guests can enjoy the beach. I tried to provide a masseuse on call because we don't have a spa. So, I try to incorporate those amenities that we don't have, but still provide them to our guests. So that's my main motivator, is to come up with new ideas and get the appreciation back from guests and from the owner as well.
Yeah, it sounds like an amazing service. Yeah. Priscilla, so what would you say are your top qualities that make you good at what you do?
So I believe, with my background as an European, it's also helped me because you know how to deal with different cultures. So when you grew up in Europe, it's such a it's small countries, right? So you grew up in traveling to Spain or to France or to Germany or to England, and it's different cultures every time you go to those countries. So I think that helped me a lot because a lot of our guests are completely different. I always tell everyone that I could write a book about this hotel because I come up with the craziest stories that you could imagine. I'm not gonna tell you, but I have so many diverse guests that they want so many different things, and I have to adapt to those different cultures. So I think my background as an European, it helps me a lot on that. My background as a tennis player also helps me because as a tennis player, you have to be focused, and it's an individual sport. So you have to, well, it could also be a team sport. So you have to, how to um, focus and lead and make sure that things are going to go well. And you have to have that ambition, that you want to improve all the time. So that would be also one of my best qualities, I believe. And then as a woman, I think we have that feel for things. We pay attention to details. Whether it's men are much more, this is how it is. But I pay attention to a lot of details, especially in the rooms. I want to make sure, the shampoo is first or the conditioner is second. Make sure that the towels are correct or the pillows are this way, not that way. Make sure that they have coffee, waters, and the fridge is stocked up. All those details are very important to me. And I think guests appreciate that. And I think that's something that brings from a woman perspective. And I would say those three are my most best qualities.
Priscilla, and so what are you most proud of to date?
In the professional side of it, I believe my numbers. I was capable of showing and improving the hotel. The return guest clientele is huge. We have so many regulars, so many. In the beginning, when I started, there was literally probably 2 families that were coming back. Now we have, I would say, around 30 or more. I can't keep up with all the guests that come back, but I know their face and I know their names. But it's great because we always, when they leave, when they check out, we always say, we look forward to seeing you again, Yeah. So we want to make sure that they're going to come back. And they always say, oh, yes, I will come back. Don't worry. We'll write you a great review. So that's that's an accomplishment. When they're happy and they know that they're going to come back and they're going to tell everyone. So my numbers also show that when I do a report at the end of the year, you know, it's not just about the revenue. It's also about how many reservations we got, how many guests we got, and how many clients are coming back.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's what I'm most proud of. Um, and I just love having the appreciation from the owner. He lets me do whatever I feel like doing, and he trusts me, and
It
that's really
sounds
big.
very entrepreneurial. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He tells me that I act like an owner, and
yeah,
I do.
yeah,
It's not just managing the hotel.
yeah. Priscilla, so what would your top tips be for a younger girl who maybe wants to go into the hospitality area? What top tips would you have for them?
So I always tell women that they should believe in themselves. If you have a goal, you just go for it. I actually have a friend who went back to the tennis tour. She stopped when she was very young, and she also taught me that. She said, I always wanted to go back to the tour, but you have to obviously have a realistic point, and if you think you can make it, then go for it, because you don't want to think, oh, I should have done that, why didn't I do it? you know if you really think that you can do something, then you should go for it. Have that ambition in you.
Yeah, definitely. Priscilla, and so what are your plans on goals for your future?
So I have my personal goals and I have my professional goals. My personal goals would be, well, I have my wedding coming up next year. um, I am engaged to a French entrepreneur as well. He owns a French restaurant here in Boca. Um, well, not here in Boca. We're in Palm Beach, but Boca is super close. And he he's great. We're gonna have the wedding in Lisbon, in Portugal. So, my personal goal would to start a family. Um, but again, on my professional side, I don't see myself stepping out of my career. I want to try to balance as much as possible my personal life with my professional life.
That sounds great, Priscilla. All the very best to you. How exciting is that?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thanks.
talking to me today.
Thank you, Stephanie.